I'm David Tillman, author of NootropicsExpert.com, and in this video I'm going to share with you how to create the best nootropic stack. We're going to talk about why you'd want to create your own personal stack as opposed to buying a pre-formulated stack, and I'll give you some tips on how to figure out where to start and identify what it is you want this nootropic stack to do for you. And then we'll talk about stack suggestions for different issues, including stack suggestions for cognition and quicker thinking, for memory, a stack for anxiety and depression, a stack for energy and motivation, and suggestions for a stack for the aging brain. If you've spent any time on Nootropics Expert or this YouTube channel, you've got a good idea on how certain nootropics can benefit your brain. But if you're just getting started with nootropics, the choices can seem overwhelming. Will one nootropic work? Will it take more than one supplement to solve my problem? If there's more than one, how do I combine them for best results? So this video is going to give you some tips that should help you. If you are a university student, an entrepreneur, a business executive, a stay-at-home mom or dad, or a senior, what are you trying to improve? It could be just one thing you want to work on, like improving your memory. Maybe you have a difficult time focusing like I did. Or you find learning new material, skill, or a language an insurmountable problem. You could have an issue with anxiety or bouts of depression. Procrastination could leave you feeling like a failure because of lack of motivation. Now, so put some thought into this now because you'll save a lot of time and money figuring out what you're trying to fix first. And if it's just one thing you want to fix or support, you'll have an easier time putting together the right nootropic stack. Because often it'll take 2 or 3 nootropic supplements to get to where you need to be. Later on in this video, you'll get specific suggestions on nootropics for cognition, quicker thinking and decision making, and memory. Nootropic stack suggestions for anxiety and depression, energy and motivation, and brain repair and maintenance, or how to fix your brain. Now, for many of us, it's more than just one problem that we're dealing with. In my case, it was a combination of adult ADD and hypothyroidism that caused problems with anxiety, cognition, focus, memory, and depression. Now, that's a lot to deal with and a lot to fix. But the good news is that it's entirely possible with the right combination of nootropics to address each one of these issues. My life is a good example of what's possible with the right nootropic stack. I was able to restart my career, my marriage is better than I ever dreamed possible, and my future looks amazing. But to be perfectly honest with you, one nootropic that works for me may not work as well for you. Each of us has unique wiring. Our chemical makeup is different and is affected by the foods we eat, where we live, the air we breathe, the genes we inherited from our parents, and more. So experimentation is key. So pick your top choice of something that you'd like to improve, and once you find something that works reasonably well, go to the next thing on your list. With some time and effort and diligent experimenting, you'll find the perfect nootropic stack for you. My recommendation is to create your own nootropic stack when starting out. Tailor your stack to each issue that you're trying to solve. It'll likely be more expensive because you need to get each individual nootropic or supplement on its own, but the advantages at first outweigh the cost, in my opinion. When you find something that works, you then need to figure out how much of that nootropic works best with your brain and body. If you try something and it doesn't work as well as expected, or what you were promised in the marketing hype, or what you read on the forums, then throw it out, pitch it, and try something else. Flexibility and experimentation is key when getting started with nootropics. A pre-formulated stack doesn't allow this flexibility. So keep that pre-formulated option in reserve until you nail down what works best for you, and then look for a nootropic stack that fills all of your requirements. Now let's briefly look at some of your options for major issues to get you started. This is by no means an exhaustive list, but it's a way to point you in the right direction. So use the search function over on Nootropics Expert to find every nootropic that works for memory or depression or anxiety or ADHD or traumatic brain injury or whatever it is you need to fix or improve. Or use the search function on this channel on YouTube for Nootropics Expert. Cognition is the mental action or process you go through when learning something new and understanding it through thought, experience, and your physical senses. Cognition includes thinking, knowing, short working and long-term memory, decision-making, and problem-solving. Now that's a tall order to cover and will likely take more than one nootropic, but you can start with these suggestions. Alpha-GPC or CDP-Choline. Both nootropics help boost acetylcholine in your brain. Acetylcholine is associated with memory and learning. Lion's mane mushroom. Lion's mane increases brain nerve growth factor or neurogenesis, improving attention, focus, thinking, depression, anxiety, and helps repair damaged neurons. N-Acetyl L-Tyrosine or NALT. NALT is a bioavailable form of L-Tyrosine, which is a precursor to dopamine in your brain. More dopamine helps improve alertness, focus, working memory, and executive function, or decision-making. Pine bark extract. From the French maritime pine tree, pine bark extract is used primarily to improve cerebral blood flow. Studies and personal experience show that it boosts memory and cognition. Vitamin B6. B6 is a required coenzyme for the synthesis of most major neurotransmitters in your brain and helps enhance alertness, cognition, energy, memory, and mood. Vitamin B9 or folate is a nootropic. This nootropic is involved in the synthesis of dopamine, epinephrine, norepinephrine, and serotonin. It's involved in the synthesis of DNA, RNA, gene expression, amino acid synthesis, myelin synthesis, and repair. And vitamin B12. B12 is essential for the synthesis of DNA, RNA, and new neurotransmitters in your brain. B12 enhances alertness, cognition, memory, decision-making, and mood. Now, if you find it surprising that the B vitamins are on here, don't be, because the rest of your nootropic stack is probably not going to work very well if you don't have these B vitamins to help in the synthesis of the neurotransmitters that your brain needs. We use several different types of memory every day. Short-term memory is known as primary or active memory and is limited to what you remember in 20 to 30 seconds. Long-term memory is the type of memory associated with an event or information you acquired a long time ago. This is a complicated form of memory influenced by your perception of an event or thing, conditioning, or any other input, and is encoded using long-term potentiation and strengthening neurons and synapses. And then we have working memory, which is distinct from short-term memory and long-term memory. These are memories that are not only remembered, but simultaneously processed with information that is important to you. You remember the purpose of the information and why you decided to remember it. Now, each type of memory can be assisted by different nootropics because neurotransmitters, cerebral blood flow, long-term potentiation, hormones, and more all come into play for memory. You can try alpha-GPC or CDP-Choline. Both nootropics help boost acetylcholine in your brain. Acetylcholine is associated with memory and learning. DHA, which is an omega-3. DHA makes up a large portion of your brain's gray matter. This fatty acid helps form cell membranes, neurons, and synapses which are needed to form and encode memories. Huperzine-A. Huperzine-A helps promote memory by increasing acetylcholine levels. L-Theanine, found naturally in green tea and is available as a separate nootropic supplement, L-Theanine helps boost dopamine and serotonin, improving anxiety, focus, learning, and mood. Noopept. Noopept stimulates dopamine, nicotinic, and serotonin receptors in your brain, boosting cognition, memory, retention, logical thinking, improving your reflexes and mood. Phosphatidylserine, or PS. PS is vital for brain health. It's highly concentrated in cell membranes. PS helps in the release, storage, and activity of neurotransmitters and receptors, boosting cognition, focus, memory, and recall. And Piracetam. This original nootropic, Piracetam, influences AMPA and NMDA receptors in your brain, affecting learning and memory. Now, if you want more options and to learn more about how memory works, go to nootropicsexpert.com and look for the post that I did on best nootropics for learning and memory. Do you remember what it used to be like to be in a good mood all of the time? Anxiety and depression are something that most of us had to deal with at one time or another in our lives. Now, for me, being adult ADD and hypothyroid was like a double whammy. And it took a while to dig out of the hole that I was in. Anxiety and depression are often grouped together, both in nootropic circles as well as in the psychiatric and medical world. But they are two distinctly different conditions, even though the cause of anxiety and depression may overlay. All kinds of conditions can contribute to anxiety and depression. Neurotransmitter levels that are out of balance can cause severe depression. Illness and stress can cause anxiety and depression. Poor cerebral blood flow or a lack of brain-derived nootropic factor, or BDNF. Mental fatigue from lack of cellular energy, Alzheimer's, Parkinson's, stroke, and more can all cause anxiety and depression. Now, here are a few nootropics that can help. This is by no means an exhaustive list. If your depression or anxiety is severe, please seek professional help while you are exploring nootropic options. Now, here's some ideas. Aniracetam. This member of the racetam family of nootropics, Aniracetam is very well known for helping anxiety and depression, and it's one of my favorites. Aniracetam activates D2 and D3 dopamine receptors in your brain, improving anxiety, cognition, learning, memory, and mood. Alpha-GPC or CDP-Choline. Both nootropics help boost acetylcholine in your brain. Acetylcholine is associated with memory and learning, and the choline is needed when stacked with any racetam. Ashwagandha, used for thousands of years in Ayurvedic medicine, ashwagandha helps relieve stress, fatigue, restore energy and concentration, and it normalizes blood sugar. Bacopa Monnieri. Bacopa is believed by some to be the best nootropic available today. This adaptogen helps prevent chemical and physical stress instead of suppressing them like many modern antidepressants. Lemon balm. This plant from the mint family, lemon balm inhibits the GABA transaminase enzyme, which in turn helps maintain adequate levels of GABA in your brain, resulting in a calming effect and relieving anxiety and depression. Rhodiola Rosea. Rhodiola increases AMPK, which helps decrease depression and stress-related mood swings. It reduces fatigue, it stimulates energy and alertness, and it boosts cognition. Sulbutiamine, synthesized in the lab from vitamin B1 or thiamine. Sulbutiamine is another favorite of mine because it boosts memory and motivation and is a heck of an antidepressant. Vitamin B6. B6 is a required coenzyme for the synthesis of most major neurotransmitters in your brain, and it helps enhance alertness, cognition, energy, memory, and mood. Vitamin B12. B12 is essential for the synthesis of DNA, RNA, and neurotransmitters in your brain. B12 enhances alertness, cognition, memory, decision-making, and mood. Now, to learn more about anxiety and depression and even more options on nootropics that can help alleviate the symptoms of each one of these, go to nootropicsexpert.com and see my posts on best nootropics for anxiety and best nootropics for depression. If you've ever felt mentally drained after writing an exam, an intense study session, a misunderstanding with your partner, or working out a business problem, nootropics can help. Energy and motivation kind of go hand in hand in my book. When I'm energized, it usually translates into motivation to get things done. When energy stores are depleted in my brain and body, I'm burned out and nothing much is going to happen. Mental fatigue has a variety of causes. Depleted neurotransmitters can cause fatigue as well as a host of other issues. A lack of adenosine triphosphate, or ATP, which is the energy source for brain cells, is another cause of mental fatigue and leads to neurodegenerative disease. Hormones that are out of balance can cause fatigue, and poor cerebral blood flow, which provides oxygen and nutrients to brain cells, can result in fatigue. The amount of available mental energy has a direct influence on cognitive and mental performance. Now let's look at the nootropics that can fix mental fatigue and boost motivation. The first one is acetyl L-Carnitine, or ALCAR. ALCAR boosts acetylcholine and transports fatty acids through cell membranes into mitochondria for use as brain cell fuel. And one of my favorite nootropics, ALCAR increases memory, mental alertness, fluid thought, and is a powerful antioxidant. Alpha-lipoic acid. Lipoic acid boosts levels of acetylcholine and glucose uptake and regenerates depleted antioxidants already present in your brain, including vitamin C, vitamin E, glutathione, and CoQ10, boosting cellular energy and memory. Coluracetam. One of the newer racetams, Coluracetam works as a choline uptake enhancer and improves AMPA potentiation. The net result is a boost in energy levels. Unlike prescription stimulants, Coluracetam offers a more relaxed, calm, and free-minded kind of thought processing. CoQ10 and ubiquinol. CoQ10 is essential for producing adenosine triphosphate, or ATP, that fuels the mitochondria in brain cells. Improving athletic performance, it works as an antioxidant, and it battles fatigue and depression. Creatine. Creatine acts as fuel for your brain cells and provides energy on demand when you need it. NADH. NADH is a coenzyme used in the formation of ATP, the energy source for mitochondria in your brain cells. NADH boosts alertness, mental performance, energy, and memory. Noopept. This peptide-derived nootropic related to the racetam family, Noopept increases BDNF and stimulates dopamine, nicotinic, and serotonin receptors, boosting energy, cognition, memory, logical thinking, and it improves reflexes and mood. Phenylpiracetam. It's a Russian derivative of piracetam. Phenylpiracetam improves concentration, memory, motivation, mental energy, and offers a stimulant effect. Rhodiola Rosea. Rhodiola increases AMPK, which triggers the use of stored energy from fats in your brain cells, boosting alertness, energy, and cognition, while decreasing depression and stress-related mood swings. And Pramiracetam. A derivative of and more potent than piracetam, Pramiracetam stimulates choline uptake in your brain, boosting energy levels and providing focused stimulation for better mental drive and motivation. Now, to learn even more about and get more options for nootropics on energy and motivation, see my post over on Nootropics Expert, Hacking Motivation with Nootropics. According to the American Center for Disease Control, an estimated 1.7 million people in the U.S. suffer from traumatic brain injury every year. And that's just for the USA. This is clearly a worldwide problem for the human race. Brain injury covers a lot of territory and includes concussion, post-stroke syndrome, sports and athletic injuries, damage from pharmaceuticals, environmental toxins, bad food and water, polluted air, and more. The mechanics of injury can affect cerebral blood flow, torn tissue, damaged neurons, altered brain waves and neurotransmitters, free radicals and oxidative damage, and more. Now, the official line from the FDA and other governmental authorities in the USA and many countries worldwide, nootropic supplements and other natural substances cannot repair brain injury. Now, while this is certainly not medical advice, and you should absolutely seek professional help for brain injury, neurohackers have found relief on their own experimenting with nootropics. And here's a small sample of what we found useful. CDP-Choline. CDP-Choline provides your brain with choline, which aids in the synthesis of acetylcholine, and cytidine in CDP-Choline converts to uridine, which is important for neural membrane synthesis. DHA, which is an omega-3. DHA makes up a large portion of your brain's gray matter. This fatty acid helps form cell membranes, neurons, synapses, which are needed to form and encode memories. Phosphatidylserine, or PC. PC is a phospholipid, which helps build and repair brain cell membranes. PQQ. The enzyme cofactor PQQ facilitates the growth of new mitochondria in brain cells, boosting the production of nerve growth factors in cells that support creation of new neurons, and reduces inflammation and oxidative stress. Pramiracetam. This derivative of piracetam, Pramiracetam, increases acetylcholine receptors in your brain by stimulating choline uptake in your brain. This nootropic boosts energy levels and improves cognition and motor coordination. Pterostilbene, found in cranberries, blueberries, and grapes. Pterostilbene is a potent antioxidant. It stimulates brain-derived nootropic factor, or BDNF, and promotes neuroplasticity. By reducing oxidative stress, pterostilbene helps prevent heart attacks and stroke. Resveratrol. This polyphenol antioxidant, found in the skin of grapes. Resveratrol improves blood flow and reduces inflammation, improving cell survival and neurogenesis in the hippocampus, resulting in better memory and learning. Turmeric. Turmeric is unique in its ability to reduce inflammation that's common to Parkinson's, Alzheimer's, and other brain problems. To learn more about PTSD and traumatic brain injury and the best nootropics to alleviate the symptoms of each, see my posts over on Nootropics Expert 4, Treating PTSD with Nootropic Supplements, and Best Nootropics for Traumatic Brain Injury. There are many ways to address each issue that you're dealing with when it comes to optimizing brain health and function. If you're a nootropic veteran, I'm sure that you'll find holes in my recommendation. But each section that we covered is most definitely not conclusive of the best nootropics for a single condition. I encourage you to use the search function on Nootropics Expert. Enter the issue you're dealing with and you'll get a list of articles with suggestions for your nootropic stack. And by no means should you include everything listed under memory, for example, in your stack. One or two options from each section can help you toward your ideal nootropic stack. Many nootropics work synergistically and together can make a more powerful solution than a nootropic on its own. When combining several nootropics in a stack, you'll want to back down to the lowest recommended dose of each nootropic to start. And you also may have noticed that some nootropics appear in several categories. What this means is that most nootropic stacks would benefit by including alpha-GPC or CDP-Choline, DHA, and a nature-identical B vitamin complex. Now be sure to click through, in the original transcript for this video, click through to each nootropic to review the dosage recommendations and the side effects. Each article has extensive references to clinical studies as well. I mentioned pre-formulated stacks as an option that you could use to replace individual nootropic supplements. Now, finding the right pre-made stack can save you time and often quite a bit of money. After experimenting with many of the well-known stacks, I settled on MindLab Pro. MindLab Pro contains therapeutic dosages of 11 top quality natural nootropics that we talked about in these two videos, including CDP-Choline, Bacopa Monnieri, lion's mane mushroom, Phosphatidylserine, N-Acetyl L-Tyrosine or NALT, L-Theanine, Rhodiola Rosea, pine bark extract, and the vitamins B6, B9, and B12. I found it less expensive to use this stack than buying each nootropic on its own. All I've had to add is coconut oil, DHA, Aniracetam, and Sulbutiamine. And I've recently replaced separate supplements, including ALCAR, alpha-lipoic acid, CoQ10, and PQQ with Performance Lab Energy, which contains all 4 nootropics in the dosages that I was using. And it is less expensive than buying separate supplements. So check out my reviews on MindLab Pro and Performance Lab Energy and see if they would work for you too. Now, if you have any questions about building your perfect nootropic stack, please leave a comment in the comment box over on the original transcript for this video on Nootropics Expert. I or another experienced neurohacker in our community will help you out. So that's my report on how to create your own nootropic stack. If you want to see extended reviews, including clinical studies for the nootropics I talked about in this video, go to nootropicsexpert.com and click on the blog tab in the top menu bar. Then scroll down and look for how to create a nootropic stack. Or click on the link below this video. There you'll find a full transcript of this video and you'll find dozens of articles on all the well-known nootropics on Nootropics Expert. If you have any questions or you want more help on creating a nootropic stack, please use the comment section at the bottom of the post over on Nootropics Expert. I respond to comments and questions at Nootropics Expert usually the same day. If you want to see more videos on all the best nootropics used today, subscribe to this channel before you leave. I'll be putting up new videos on nootropics and optimizing your brain every week. I'm David Toman, author of Nootropics Expert.